Welcome to another Sunday WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to community leaders and local success stories to discuss important information that affects all of us here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we're joined by two distinguished guests. We have Bobby Dorado and Gary Pack with the Mount Hope Jubilee join us to talk about the upcoming festival on September 21st. Thanks so much for coming to the forum.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as a resident of Mount Hope too, I'm a little bit familiar with the Jubilee. I haven't been there as long, but I have attended a couple, and they're a good time. So.
Yeah, well, great. Well, this is our 33rd Jubilee, so we're happy to keep this thing going. And it's we've had a few years where we've had a hurricane and we've had COVID and what everybody else has been through, but. We're excited to get back, and the community is, they look forward to this. If you're from Mount Hope, been to Mount Hope, there's not a lot going on in Mount Hope, but people like to walk the streets and they like to get those funnel cakes and hot dogs, and we enjoy it. We do all that. We love it. Yep.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful little town, and I think having the Jubilee right there with all those things to do, it's a really good time, and it's a really easy way for everybody to just get out, get a little active, and get to meet each other.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the people in Mount Hope, they don't get the opportunities to go do stuff like that, and also we do that. It gives them a nice weekend to do something, and that they normally don't get to do because they can't get out and do go on vacations and whatnot, so.
Definitely. So I'm sure this takes a lot of work, to put together. So is it, well, actually, since it's community forum, I love to ask if you all need any volunteers, or is there any way that the community can come help you all out?
Come on, Gary, get those.
Well, for one thing, for the parade, one of our guys has been in the hospital a lot and everything, so that gives us one short on getting the parade line up. And the parade lineup can be chaos, so it's even hard for the three of us. So if we can find a couple of volunteers, 2 or 3 volunteers for the parade lineup alone, that would be a very big plus. So always use that.
We're a small committee. We have maybe 6 or 7 that work together, and we've worked together for years. And like I say, we have one of our fellows, Kevin Walker's been in the hospital, and he's had some problems. But it is a lot of work for a small group. But if somebody would love to volunteer to come down and help us line up the parade and get things going, or just hang around and we'll check on this vendor
or anything else they want to do. We can use them for anything.
So that has some volunteers.
Awesome. I love to ask for a community forum, especially during this time of year, because it seems like it's festival season.
Yeah.
I think Oak Leaf just ended, and we got a bunch of other ones coming up. So any volunteers out there that just loves to come out and help the community get in touch with the Mount Hope Jubilee, they could use you. So
I was hoping that the weatherman would be here so I could put in a request. We've been very lucky.
Yeah, we have.
You just mentioned the oak leaf, and you see what happens when it rains. But we've been very lucky, and the weather's all that. I mean, the weather's what brings people out. You have to do that, yeah.
Definitely. So fingers crossed, and I will talk to our meteorologist about it.
Talk to Braden and tell him we need that good weather Friday and Saturday.
I'll definitely get on it because I want to go out too. So.
Oh well, yeah, I want you to be there.
Yeah, but it is much better now since we do it in September. We used to do the Jubilee in October, and in October you get a lot of those cold rains and whatnot. Sometimes they were great, sometimes they weren't so great. So we changed it to September, and since we've done that, it's been good so far. Awesome. So far.
This started out. You said you've been there, but you're not that old. So this thing started off as kind of a New River Company get-together, homecoming. New River Company was big in Mount Hope. They had their office in Mount Hope, and New River Company had many coal mines around the area, and it was kind of homecoming for them. So that's how it started, and then we branched out. Of course, when we had our high school there, we branched out to have homecoming football. So when we had the homecoming, we brought the Jubilee in that weekend. Again, a lot of alumni people coming in, they look forward to that. And since they took our school away in 2011, we've tried to pick the third Saturday of September. This year it will be September 20 and 21. And so that's where we've looked at other dates and we looked at other times, and we're hanging right there with that third week in September.
Sounds great. And the way that the weather's been, it seems like it's starting to get a little bit fall, but some days are more hotter than others, so it might turn out to be a perfect,
Sure.
might be a perfect, I don't want to say storm, but.
No. I can tell you a story about storms. One year we had this, and we had Tommy Siner, who used to have a radio station, TV station years ago, and of course he's passed, and he was a great friend of ours, and Tommy said, I'm going to come over and we're going to do a live remote. I said, great, come over when the bands are playing. So we had a tent for the sound man, and we had a tent for Tommy, and it started raining, and it rained, and it rained, and I could see the drummer hit the cymbal, and Waters, I said, no, we cannot do this. So it just so happened that I was standing beside a piece of equipment, and the water's running over this power strip, and I felt the electricity going up my leg, and I said, it's time to quit. It's time to quit. Can't do this anymore.
Absolutely.
But we've been very fortunate with the weather. So.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And for this year's Jubilee, what can we expect? I know we got some live music, so what kind of bands?
Yeah,
can we
well,
expect?
let's talk about, then I'll let Gary talk about the extracurricular activities, but on Friday night, we have the alumni get together, and all this takes place at the old YMCA, which they call the community center now, right in the center of town, and we'll have our stage set up there this year, so it's easy to find. But on Friday night at 5 o'clock, the alumni get together, no charge, no fees. So just come out and meet your old friends and stuff. And we'll start at 6 o'clock. We have a gal named Karen James Buckland, and she's going to do some gospel music. And she's been with us for the last 7 or 8 years.
As long as I've been in it, yeah.
And we moved her to Friday night this time. She usually does kick off on Saturday. And usually when she's singing, it's after the parade and people are in and out. But anyway, Friday night, 6 o'clock. Till 6:30, 7 o'clock, Karen James will be singing. And at 7 o'clock, we're going to have DJ Bob. And I'll be playing some CDs from 7 to 9. And we do a lot of oldies. That's what I like to do, and people react to that. At 9 o'clock, we got fireworks. Fireworks sponsored by the Manhattan Fire Department. The last 2 years, they've been tremendous. And speaking of donations, if somebody wants to donate, you could donate to the fire department because the fireworks are expensive. And gosh, it seemed like last year, Gary, they just kept going 15, 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
but
we had
it was good.
Great fireworks display.
So after that, we'll start on Saturday morning. The vendors start coming in about 7 o'clock. We like for them to be set up at least by 8 if they can be. I'll be playing a little music and announcing some things that morning. 10 o'clock's a parade, and I'll let Gary talk about the parade. He's pretty much in charge of that. So.
Yeah, the parade, as I'd mentioned before, first of all, we could use a couple of volunteers if we can get them, but we'll line up at the old high school, which is the Mount Hope bypass, where we normally line up, and also we'll be lining up there, and there, of course, there'll be people there to position everybody where they need to be and all, but sometimes it gets a little hectic, but that's where to be, starting there, and line up, start at 9 o'clock, and the parade actually starts at 10. So we just need to be sure that everybody does try to get there around 9 o'clock so that we are ready to go at the regular scheduled time.
Wonderful. And are you looking for anybody else to be in the parade, or is your lineup all set?
Yes, anybody.
Yes.
We'd love to get as many participants as possible. We usually have a pretty good parade and all, but sometimes the weather again. Hopefully, it won't be no bad weather. But if we don't get the bad weather, we usually have a pretty good lineup. But yeah, anybody that wants to be in it, they can call the number that's going to be shown on the screen and all. And but we'd love to. The bigger, the better.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll. I mean, if you've got your four-wheeler you want to bring, you come on and ride your four-wheeler through there.
Or if you want to just bring yourself.
Or if you want to walk, whatever. If you've got a church or a group that wants to come out and put a float in, we'll take that. We'd love to have some bands. It's kind of hard to get the high school and the bands out. And I think this year, maybe I'm wrong, but usually Oak Hill Band always comes over, middle school band. And I think I've heard that they moved their football game to Saturday this year. And so we may not get the Oak Hill Band. But, the bands are great. We love to have bands, love to have music. And
That'd be great.
everybody come in.
Awesome, definitely. So, any bands out there, any high school bands, or if any marching bands out there that want to come be in the Mount Hope Jubilee Parade, come out, get in touch
Floats,
with them.
we always
Floats.
like a lot of floats.
The majorettes or the dance groups or whatever, we've had those too. Election year, politicians.
Yep, that too.
Politicians,
Definitely.
come out.
It's a big year for politicians,
Yes,
so guys, come out.
We'll let you in. Yeah, no problem there.
Open to everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bring some candy. The kids always love the candy, so those are candies. Yeah. And of course, after the parade, then at 11 o'clock, one of our bands will start. It's called Jimmy Pino, and he brings a group called Piney Creek. Jimmy's a hometown boy. He's played with us, or for us, the last 7 or 8 years. You never know who he's going to bring. He plays with every band around here, I think. But he'll be there bringing Piney Creek. They'll play until 1 o'clock, and we'll take a break from 1. And at 1:30, we've got a new group coming in this year. It's called Southern Drawl Band, and they seem to be really excited to come, and we're happy to have them. And they'll play from 1:30 till 3. Usually after 3 o'clock, people start thinning out. We ask our vendors to stay till 4. And we do shut the road off. After the parade, the road will be shut off from Pikes Avenue, the railroad tracks, till Geno's on the other end of town. So the streets will be blocked off. But hopefully, go find some parking around the fire station or somewhere down through there, football field. But we want everybody to come out.
Absolutely, yeah, and you definitely should come out. It's a really good time, and especially if you have a float or anything. I'm sure some of you still have some floats from some recent parades. I'm sure there are some Labor Day parades and things going on. If you want to break that back out, come get in touch with the Mount Hope Jubilee and
definitely.
be in the parade.
Yep, definitely.
We've got some new things coming up this year.
We're doing a few things. Each year we try to add something to it. So this year we're adding a couple things for the children. We're going to do a hula hoop contest, and we're going to have a scavenger hunt. And that part is going to be at the Kilsyth Free Will Baptist Church, and we've built a nice big picnic shelter there beside the church now, so that's where we're going to do it. We've got big empty lots, so it's going to be a good place for that. That's added to it. And of course, also there by the church is where we do the rubber ducky race. Dump all the ducks in the creek right there at the bridge, and they go down to what's that next bridge? It's a walking bridge on down the creek there. But anyway, that's
a few hundred yards. It's not
it's just maybe a couple blocks down or something, but anyway. But that's there also is where that is, and
I understand you're going to get in the creek this year and get out the ducks.
no, that's the kids' job.
Oh,
Now, that
I might get thrown in.
Brandon, we need a volunteer for to get the ducks out of the creek.
Well, we'll have to see about that after the break. Actually, we will talk more about getting some volunteers to get into that creek and get those rubber duckies out.
Yeah.
But, you guys come back if you're interested in that.
Yeah, come on back.
The kids have a blast doing that.
Welcome back to Sunday Community Forum. I'm here with Bobby Dorado and Gary Pack, and we're talking about the upcoming Mount Hope Jubilee. Now, before we went to break, we were talking about some of the fun stuff that we have for the kids, and we need some people to pick the ducks out of the pond after the rubber ducky race. So if any of you are interested in that, please get in touch with them.
The creek is not that deep. It may be cold, but it's not that deep.
So you want to get a little swim in, a
There
little
you go.
swim
Sure.
practice
Yeah.
in for the day, a little bit of
There you go.
paddling.
Exactly right. Yes.
Good way to cool off.
Awesome. And we also have a scavenger hunt and a hula hoop contest.
Yes. Like I said, we're going to have the hula hoop contest there at the Kilsyth Free Will Baptist Church at the picnic shelter that we just built. And the scavenger hunt will also be there. We've got several big lots around the church, so that's where that would be. And of course, like I said earlier, the rubber ducky race will be there. And something we also added this year that Bobby just reminded me, we're doing a cornhole tournament this year. I don't have the fees, what it's going to cost, or to do that yet, but we will have the tournament, and it will be there at the community, at the old
the old band
middle school, but the old where the community building is now used to be the YMCA. It'll be right there, and which also that's where the car show's going to be, at the old middle school right there it'll be on the same lot.
Talk about the car show.
With
car show.
Yeah, the car show definitely. But it will be, like I said, right there at the middle school also, and we'll have directional signs for people that's not been there before, how to get up to the lot. Of course, you can't enter it from right in front of the school. You go up the backside. But I'll have signs there, car show, and there's pointing. But it's actually between the fire department and the library is where you turn off that street towards the apartments back there. And I have another sign to guide you up the hill. But that's where that will be, which is always another big attraction for the Jubilee, of course. People love to come see the old classic and antique cars. We're giving a top 30 trophies, plus we'll have 3 specialty trophies, which would be Club Choice, Jubilee Committee Choice, and the Mayor's Choice. So there will be all that. And also, to back up a little bit, I want to mention, to get to the church where we're having the thing for the kids, rubber ducky race and all that, the Kilsay Three-Wheel Baptist Church, if you're coming out to Mount Hope bypass, and where it runs into Main Street where Gino's Pizza and all is, the church that's across from Gino's and Mountaineer Mart, right there in the bottom is the red brick church. Big parking lot. A lot of the people park there anyway, so they'll see cars there and everything. So that's where that will be.
Awesome.
And that's the only 2 events that there's a fee. The cornhole contest, there is a fee. There's a fee to enter your team, and then of course there'll be the payoff will be however much they take in. There'll be a percentage of that.
Yeah.
And the car show.
The entry fee will be $15 on that. But like I said, with the cornhole, we don't have the entry fee yet. But
that's the only 2 things that you pay for, other than the food.
The
food's a big deal.
Yes, that is my favorite topic of all.
Okay, we'll talk about food.
Everybody's, I think.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the table during the break in Mount Hope that just opened not too long ago. But what are some of the vendors that we can expect to see at the Mount Hope Jubilee?
Wow, we have 3 or 4 or 5 food trucks. I'm not sure their names. Gary may know 3 or 4 of them from the Oak Hill area, but they'll have the regular food truck stuff. I mean, you're going to get your funnel cakes, you're going to get your hot dogs, you're going to get your wings, and the barbecues and everything else that goes with it. There'll be a couple organizations. We've had some churches that will set up that don't have a food truck, but let me remind people, if you do sell food, you do need to get a permit from the Fayette County Health Department. And you need a food handler's card. And like I say, we have some, you might have a church come in, they want to set up and they'll do hot dogs. So just have your permit and have your food handler's card. We try to space them out through town, so they're all not bundled up together. Most of them are really on the south end. And it's because most food trucks will have a generator, or they'll need power, and we don't have access to a lot of electricity there. We can pull some power off the poles, but the problem we've had in the past, when you get your coffee pot and your crock pot and your food warmer, you're blowing our breakers.
Yeah.
So we ask, if you have the generator, be sure to bring that along. So.
So you guys be mindful. And also, I guess check out the Mount Hope Jubilee Facebook page as well for more information. I'm sure you guys are like updating things as you go. So that's a great place to go look for new updates with the Mount Hope Jubilee.
Correct. That's correct.
Awesome. And also, you guys get involved in the car show. It seems like the last few people I've talked to for festivals and things like that, they've talked about car shows and they talk about how great the turnout is. And it seems like it's something that, West Virginians really love to do. So if you have an awesome car that you want to show off, please come to the Mount Hope Jubilee and get into the show. So.
Yes, and also besides the car show itself, anybody that wants to drive their classic cars in the parade, we always welcome them to be there. Again, line up at 9 o'clock, and we usually have several, but again, the more we can get out there, the better it is. People love to see the old cars cruising through town and everything, so that's something else we love to see people get out, besides just coming to the car show itself, is to drive them in the parade. And once the parade, when they get down to the end of town, which is where Mountaineer Martin Gino's Pizza is, they simply just make the circle, go back out the Mount Hope bypass, and come back through right into the fire department and back up on the hill to the car show itself. Because some people, once they do drive in the parade, they get confused from what we find out later, that they don't know which way to go to get back to the car show, so they go back home instead of come to the car show. But just make sure to make the circle around the Mount Hope bypass.
Circle the bypass.
Circle the go around the bypass, come back into town, and where the street is blocked off right there by the Pikes Avenue, which is where the library and fire department is. Just come to that point, and again, they'll see the signs to guide them up to the lawn where the car show is.
I can bring my old car. I can be in a parade, but I don't have to attend the car show. That's
right. Yeah.
If you're going to drive through.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about if we're through with the car show. Every year we have a grand marshal. We have a grand marshal, and this year we've picked a couple of. It's Lenny and Louise Powell. They are both graduates of Mount Hope High School. Lenny is part owner of Ritchie and Johnson Funeral Home in Beckley. He's been with them for many, many years. His wife Louise was a school teacher at Mount Hope. She taught there until they closed. Just a great family. We thought that that was a good pick this year for. They have a son and a daughter, Tyrone and Lindsay. Hopefully they'll be in the parade, but they'll also be in the parade. We'll have them up front. But it was a good choice. It was a good choice.
It definitely sounds like it, because it's a lifelong West Virginian, especially Southern West Virginian. You know about Ritchie and Johnson, especially you've been in Beckley. Right. So that would be really and to have an educator that went to Mount Hope and taught at Mount Hope. It's really wonderful. So shout out to them, absolutely. And I think you all made a great choice. So it'll be good to see them.
I think so. Yeah. And we've looked around, and we've looked at past mayors and past business people, and don't have a lot of business people over there now this year. But we've had. I think this is a great choice this year, and it'll be good.
I think so too. And also, I think it shows how awesome it is to go out and do great things for your community. Because the community obviously appreciates it, and you see out there being honored as grand marshals in the parade just for being a pillar of their community. So. Just give back to where you live.
It's something about the people that just and I watched this at the Oakleaf. People just like to walk through town. They want to get out in the middle of the street and here I am, and it's fun. It really is fun, and I love it because when the alumni, I see friends that I went to school with, and old friends and new friends, and it's just a warm feeling that we're trying to put out there to the community. And other than probably one or two people in town, everybody loves it.
Absolutely. And I think it's a great way to get out and meet people in your community, and you may meet your neighbors. You may have been living next to somebody for years, and now you get out and you meet them for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
They're just having a fun time. Yeah. All right, so we got the events, the vendors, the car show, live music. Also your events committee. I know you said that it's kind of small, but are you all open to more people joining or coming to your committee events to kind of see what's going on there?
Honestly, we're pretty selective.
Pretty selective.
I mean, we've had, and maybe it's the wrong thing to say, but we've had some people want to volunteer and we just don't know that they'd fit in. Our people are old. I mean, I'm the oldest one on the committee. Okay, we have myself. We have Gary. I don't want to miss anybody now. We have Kevin Walker, who's in the hospital right now, but that's really the only three guys we have. So we have Patty Logan, we have Brenda Toitino, we have Donna Burns, and we have Miranda Williams. And we had Katie Logan, who just had her baby, so she's kind of out of commission right now. So. And that's about it, other than Patty's family. Patty Logan's family, if we couldn't do this without her family.
Her family always kicks in when we're decorating the town.
Her son's gone.
And
we started a couple of weeks ago. If you've been through town, if you notice, we've tried to wrap some of the poles that have power on them with lights. We've put up the Jubilee banner. We've had our small banners. And we've put some ribbons and stuff down on the north end of town, and people say, well, how come we don't get any lights down there? Well, there's no power on those poles, but we've tried to put some ribbons, and when our Christmas parade goes in, we'll have some Christmas stuff down there. But we try to spread it out all over town. But the main part of town and the south end of town is where you'll see the lights and stuff.
Yeah, and one thing Bobby mentioned, I know this is not really the time for that, but something else, since the Jubilee always turned out good, and like I was saying earlier, it gives people something to do. Well, we started, 2 years ago, we added the Christmas parade, or a few years ago. Then from the parade, we turned that into a festival.